And so faithism then creates fear. You define somebody as less than human, and are taught to be afraid of them because they're not human. They're not like us. They're not human. So you got to control them and segregate them and abuse them. And then when that happens, you begin to build this whole mentality of hatred. And it's a devastating impact on human beings. It's a devastating impact on the creation, because when you use faith to support empire and you have a faithism, then it's okay to exploit not only people you exclude, but it's okay to exploit the creation and to destroy the very sources of life that we all depend on and live in. And so that's what I see as one of the primary causes, is this faithism. Develop a expression of faith that's dependent on opinion and practice, that declares itself supreme, the only, and that uses that to define other people as less than human, and then to participate in the exclusion and domination and utilization of that community to satisfy our own greed. It's a form of devastating idolatry that we need to eliminate. So what is the remedy? How do we remedy this devastating reality? Now, of course, and this goes on, and I've been a part of my life experience deeply for my whole experience. My brother John Wright back there is a beautiful Roman Catholic, and I was raised in a faithism that said Roman Catholics are not human. They're less than. He has a wonderful story about how this Methodist preacher killed this Catholic priest down in St. Paul out of this same mentality. And so, David's right in saying this is not a new thing. It's just a new expression of the way in which we have manipulated and abused the magnificent religious traditions of which we're a part as a human community. And so our remedy is to distinguish faithism from authentic faith, and to gain the skills to distinguish faithism from authentic faith. And to do that, we've got to claim religious sufficiency, not religious supremacy. Christianity is sufficient in its form and its purpose, and intended as Jesus presented it, is sufficient to bring about the dignity and worth of all humanity. Islam is sufficient. If I was born in Palestine, I would be a Muslim like my brother here, right? And would be the best that I could be in the tradition of justice and peace. And when I have traveled in Palestine and Israel and listened to the magnificent, nonviolent combaters against oppression in that great land, and hear the same thing from unbelievable, powerful Jewish people who have the same passion, right? Who have a passion for humanity and for the earth, and are working together to build a just peace in that land with us all over the world. We've got to understand and how to distinguish religious supremacy, but claim religious sufficiency. Because it's my opinion that we can't solve these issues without the great insights of Muhammad, Buddha, Gandhi, Jesus, Moses, Isaiah. I mean, they have the ways in which we can respond together as a people to solve the issues in which we're struggling against. And so we have to understand and claim our religious sufficiency to cooperate and not compete. out of the strength of the sufficiency of our own particular religious traditions and how we understand them. Because a diversity of religion has developed in all the earth from the rainbow of the beautiful cultures of this globe. And the source of all of those traditions and religions is life, right? Is God. Dignity, beauty, wonder, awe, magnificent. And so we're called not to blend all of our religions to the lowest common denominator, but we're to go deep in chapter 9, as our Imam led us today, and understand what that was about, so that we understand that's not about everybody. And we got to go deep in chapter 5, 6, and 7 of Matthew and the Sermon on the Mount, and understand deeply what that's about. And it's not about just being a doormat. That's about laying down your life for human dignity for everybody born of a woman. Right? Right. It's about fighting back, but fighting back with love, justice, community, and peace. And so we then can join together as religious communities in the depth of our diversity, and to join hands for life and not exploitation, to expose. And it's another remedy, and that I'm committed to that. And I have to do that as a Christian pastor. I have to interpret the Christian faith in a way that includes love for all creation, and make sure that I am interpreting an authentic faith and not faithism, not competing with other faiths or trying to prove I'm better than a Muslim or I'm better than a Buddhist. I mean, that's ridiculous. We've all got to be good.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you.
We've all got to be good, and all of our traditions are about goodness, simple goodness. You know, Martin King said, our problem isn't that we don't know enough or that we don't have enough. Our problem is we're not good enough.
Thank you, Martin. Time's up.
All right. Well, let me say one. I don't have much more to say.
It's Sunday morning and he has to preach.
No, I got 23 seconds. I got a timer going here. And so we all have to then join together and let human rights, the struggle for human rights, be the measure of our religious righteousness, and not that we're better than somebody else. Y'all understand?
Yes, amen. Amen.
And human rights has got to become the measure of... okay, the timer's done. Anyway, but my last proposal before anything else, let's make sure that after this conference, we begin in the U.S. Human Rights Network a faith and human rights working group, so that we can develop more this idea of faithism and stronger dialogue, and provide a context out of which we can begin to join hands and develop religious righteousness as the achievement of human rights for all, and not religious supremacy and faithism that describes other people as less than human. But thank you all very much. Enjoy it.